everyone, this is Tish Griffin back with Family Credit Management Services, and I am here to share with you information on your finances, answer questions that I have gotten all week long regarding debt, regarding dealing with creditors, and so that is the purpose of what we're going to talk about today. Now, if you have any questions, let's say you've got questions even based off of what we talk about here, you need help, you need someone to talk to about your finances, or even just ask like a quick question to, reach out to Family Credit, and you can go to Family Credit's website at familycredit.org or call 800-994-3328 and you can talk directly with a counselor. Get all your questions answered and be better prepared for the future, because that's what we want for you. The next few moments, again, I'm going to answer some questions that I have been asked all week regarding finances. But first, keep in mind, we are now getting ready for back to school. That's right. Our kids are going back to school. We want to make sure that they are prepared. We want to make sure that we've got everything in line and in place. Again, if you're in the process of registering your child for school, please take advantage of those services that are offered out there to help with free and reduced lunches. You can go online to the school district's website, fill out that information and submit it. Also, if you are having problems, some schools have a fee structure depending on what grade you're in. Sometimes those fees can be a lot, especially if you're heading into like your sophomore, junior year, even your senior year. And sometimes they come out of the blue, you're not expecting them. Guess what? Counties can help you with that. The school districts, they have money available that can help you get those fees waived depending on what area you are in. But no one knows it unless you ask. So be sure you reach out, go to the school district's website and download the forms that you need to complete. Ask about the process for that. A lot of times you just have to submit your most recent paycheck stubs, or if you're getting assistance, you'll have to submit your assistance information. And yes, you can get those fees waived and get the help that you need for your child for the future. That's the best part. So please take advantage of that. Also, when you think about going back to school, we've got our kids that are heading off to college, right? So we want to make sure that you have completed the FAFSA form, which is the help that you need for college students to help pay for these expenses. Used to be college was just a few $1,000s, right? This was years ago. Now, when you're looking at a college education, people are paying well over $200,000 for 4 years for a 4-year degree. And you may think, okay, that's what people pay, but how does that relate to my finances? Keep this in mind. If you are in school or your children are in school and they're studying for a specific concentration, they know what their major is, this is what their heart is set on. I want you to have them do some research on, guess what? How much do those careers actually make? And yes, we have so many different interests and we're so grateful that all of the careers align and keep the economy going. But it really is, we want to think about our future and our children's future. I bring this up because I sat down with my daughter who was looking at marine biology, right? Sounds like a huge job. Sounds really important. Marine biology? Wow. You want to be in there with wildlife and all of that. But when you do actual sit down and see how much do marine biologists actually make, especially just starting in that field. You're looking at that field and it's like $25,000, $30,000, which if you are going to pay $200,000 for 4 years and you're only going to make $30,000, at least after your first year, you want to think about it. My student loan payments are probably going to be pretty high if I'm paying $200,000, if I've got $200,000 in student loans, if I've got $100,000 in student loans. And also keep in mind, if you have student loans, the goal is for you to pay off those student loans within 10 years when you take that loan, right? So if you've got $100,000 in student loans, that means that in order to pay that off, you're expected to pay $1,000 a month. Now that's a lot of money, right? Which is why there are options available. But if you're thinking about, I'm only going to make $30,000 a year and I have to take $1,000 each month out of that $30,000, which I'm not even getting $2,000 a month, barely. once you bring all of that home, and 1,000 of that has to go towards my student loans, is this the career path that's worth it for me? Now, you may say it is. And then you go into that with the mindset knowing I'm not going to make a whole lot, so I'm going to have to supplement my income some kind of way. I'm going to have a side hustle or a second job, but this is my passion, so that's why I'm going to do it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you think about it and say, I can't make it on $2,000, that's barely enough, to pay for a car note, to pay, if you're thinking about, getting your own apartment, $2,000 pretty much is what you would be paying for rent. So of course you're going to have roommates. So you may say, let me look at what's a step further. What's a step above that? And sometimes you might even say some of these other jobs that are out there make more than this. So should I sacrifice that and just make this because this is going to support the lifestyle that I want? And so we've seen a lot of people take a step back for that. And it's important for you to think about that, especially as children go off to college. Yes, it is great. It is amazing to go through and get your bachelor's, to get your associates, your bachelor's, go on to your master's. It's such a great milestone in your life. But after that milestone is over, what am I going to do with this degree? How is this degree going to lay the groundwork for my stability, for my financial stability, and for the lifestyle that I want to lead? So you need to think about that. What does my lifestyle look like? And this is where real financial planning comes into play here, where we're sitting down and really going through the budget, looking at the My Spending Guides and Personal Finance Made Easy, which is available on Family Credit's website, and saying, what is it that I need to do to secure the lifestyle that I want? Maybe you want to own your own home in the future. Maybe you want to be able to go on vacation all the time. Maybe you want to be able to just shop lavishly. These are things that you think about, and you want to say, how much do I actually need to do it? So let's take just a brief scenario. You are going to be you're going to rent an apartment, right? Rent's about $2,500. At $2,500, think about this. Your living expenses, your actual housing expenses should not be more than 50% of your income. And if you're looking to buy a home, a lot of times people will say, hey, that needs to be more like 30%, right? So we know you've got something left to work with, because just your living expenses being 30%, you still have your car note. You still got a car insurance. You still got groceries, utilities. You got all these other things that different bills that you are going to be paying as well. And you're trying to support this lifestyle that you want. So you want to say, if I have an apartment and my rent's going to be $2,500, I know I need to be bringing in the door at least $5,000 a month to support this. And you may say, well, my job doesn't pay that much. I only get $3,000. So now we need to be creative and look at some different ways to make this budget work. Start here. Go to your goals. This My Spending Plan Made Easy is a guide that you can download and start planning your budget, because you want to say, I know that if I want my rent to be $2,500, guess what? I can't afford it with this $3,000 job that I have. So now what do I need to do? I need to think about my options. How many roommates can I get? How many rooms are available for $2,500? Can I get a 3-bedroom or a 2-bedroom and share with someone else? So now my living expenses become $1,200. That's what it's about. You can still have the lifestyle that you want, but you've got to work around it. And using these guides and these tools and thinking about your future and going to college and how you want to live, that's the key. Thinking about not just short term, but okay, I'm going to be paying this. I need to bring in $5,000. Is this career going to pay me $5,000? If not, which one does? Again, going with marine biology. What's the next step up? Instead of making less than $30,000, what do I need to do to make $50,000 or more in this field? And if that's not possible, what are some things that I can do on the side that will give me the income that I consistently need? What second job can I have that's not going to cut into my schedule as much? What can I do work from home? And those are those questions that we all need to be asking ourselves. If you need help figuring this out, again, you can go online to Family Credit's website at familycredit.org and you can actually download my spending plan. This guide is good. It'll start you thinking about what is it that I want out of life and what do I want my life to look like. And especially going into the college season, getting all of these student loans, going into debt, and you may go ahead and fill out the FAFSA. Even if you get a full ride or most of your college paid for, you still have expenses that you need to cover yourselves too. So now you want to think about, how do I get help for books? What can I do about books? I may have all my classes paid for, but the book that I need is $500. Now what? Again, got to get creative. Think about it. You may know the book that you need. Do some research. See if you can find that book cheaper. Look online, see if anyone else is selling it. Now you got to be careful with this. You're looking up book titles. You want to make sure that you look up the exact edition that you need as well for this course so that you can have the right copy, and then see how much less can you get for it. You can look on websites. Now this is what Amazon started for. You can look at these websites. You can also go to thrift books. There are some other books, different stores, even the college bookstore itself that you are going to, and see if they have cheaper copies. Also see if they have a leasing option as well. They may let you rent the book out. And then you may even look at some of your classmates to see if it's possible for you to share the books together. So I'm just saying, there are creative ways out there. Don't feel defeated when you're thinking about your finances, especially going back to school. This is a time for you to be empowered. You're going to be learning. So we want to make sure that you have your budget together as well. Next up, yes, going to college. Look down at your budget. Your children, look at your budget. How much do you actually spend? And you may say, well, kids don't spend anything. Think about this though. How many children are using streaming services? Their own Netflix account. They've got Hulu out there. Then you've got kids that are using Microsoft, Roblox, other little online things that will eat away at money and you probably not even realizing. And you can say, well, it's only $10 a month. But guess what? $10 a month is $120 a year. So you want to think about that. This is money that you are spending that you could possibly be putting towards something else, especially if your budget is stretched. You want to look at what things are important to you. And so a lot of people struggle with this. And what you want to do is take a step back and actually sit down, looking at your spending, looking at everything that you've got going on, the things that you want to do in the fall, the different festivals. You may want to take a trip. Sit down and see, write out what is important to you and what you want your life to look like. This is such a huge step, especially when you're thinking about your finances, establishing your goals, and what all you are planning to do. First step, even in your My Spending Plan, first page talks about my goals matter. What are my goals, right? So that tells me that when you think about setting goals, goals are the foundation of your finances. So yes, it's all well and good to say, I'm going back to school. I need this, I need that, but take a step back. What's important to you? How are you going to make it? And even after you're going to school, what's your long-term plans? Then also you want to pay attention to those options that people are always talking about. You hear it in the news. What's going to happen with my student loans afterwards? Because guess what? $100,000, $200,000 is a lot to pay back. So how are you supposed to do it? And again, remember I told you they want you to do it within 10 years of you completing school. You could be in school and let's say you have to leave school for some reason. The moment you leave school and 6 months after that, that's when your payments start. When you graduate, 6 months after graduation, that's when your payments start. So you may say, I haven't even found a job yet, and they want me to pay $1,000 a month on $100,000 worth of student loans? Yes. So that's why you need to look at options and make sure that you are set and you know what you're going to do even after this is over. So there's a lot of different options. Right now, the SAVE plan just came out not too long ago for repaying your student loans. but it is on hold. Hopefully over the next few weeks, as the kinks get worked out, people will be able to sign up for it. But there are other plans out there to help you when you are working on paying your student loans. And if you're paying on a budget, they're trying to use your disposable income to show just what your payments should be. What that means is after all of your bills are paid, after everything is done, how much money do you have left to go towards these student loans? And that's what your payment is going to be based on. Now, if you say, I don't really even have any money right now, that's okay. Let them know that. Talk to your student loan servicer to establish your repayment options, and always keep them in good standings. Don't say, well, I know I'm not paying back $200,000. I don't have it. But most likely, we know a lot of us, especially in certain areas, we don't have that $200,000 to pay. But you want to make sure you let your student loan servicer know so that they can give options that are available to you and put you on what's called an income-based repayment plan. Now, with the income-based repayment plans, again, they're looking at your income, but they're looking at your disposable income to see how much you have left after you pay out everything. And that's what your payment is going to be. Sometimes when a lot of people go on these programs, most of the times, 99% of the times when people enroll in these programs, from what I have seen, the ones that I have counseled, the payments come back being zero or less than $100, no matter how much debt you have, thousands and thousands of dollars of student loans, because your budget can't handle a high payment. But if you put this, your student loans in your income-based repayment plan, the income-based repayment plan says that while you're on this plan and you make your payments of $0, you recertify every year, your payment's still $0, your payment might even go to $5, whatever it is, but you're paying that every year, every month, and this is what you're paying towards your student loans. At the end of this term, which is either 20 or 25 years, the rest of that, whatever's left, will be forgiven. That's why those plans are good. They're not there to make life harder for you, but if you take advantage of it, it will make things so much easier for you in the future, because now you've got that debt. You know that as long as you're making this payment, and most likely that payment is going to be zero, as long as you're making that payment, they're not going to pursue any type of legal action against you. Now, if you just say, I know I have student loans and I'm not paying it, guess what happens? You owe the government, first off. They will always get their money. So a lot of times student loans, they go into collections. And when they go into collections, they can possibly go into legal or pre-legal status where your tax returns are taken for defaulted student loans, where your paychecks could be garnished for defaulted student loans. So I mean that there's a lot there negative and derogatory that can happen from not even paying those student loans, not to mention it's reported to your credit bureau. So now your credit score is lower. And it's all because you didn't call and get on an income-based repayment plan for a payment of like $0 to $10 when you could have. And now your credit's messed up. You can't really, if you owe the government, you can't really get any types of loans like, if you owe the government and you're in bad standings, you're not in good standings, it affects you because now you can't get a house. You can't get different grants and assistance that you would normally qualify for. So it's always good to make sure, no matter what you're doing, and I know sometimes it takes a lot out of us, but stay in contact with that student loan servicer and whatever options that they offer you. If they say, we need your payment of $1,000, be straight up honest with them. I can't afford that. Is there anything else that you can do? And I'm sure with everything out there, all of the different programs that are going on, they'll be able to find something to help you with that student loan debt. It is not the end of the world, but it could destroy your world if you do not stay diligent and stay on top of it. So we've talked about even like with going back to school, making sure that your career path matches the life that you want to have after that. So that's always something that you want to think about. You want to think about these student loans when you're signing up for college, and this is the only way that you can go. Ask your school even before you get down so much in it. And a lot of times they give you grants. They may even give you scholarships that are available through the school. But guess what? A lot of times there's more money available, more help out there than what they originally put on that paper. But the only way for you to get it is to ask. Talk with your academic advisor at your college to see if there's any more funds available. And I guarantee you they'll be able to help you find something, find some sort of way. It may not address everything you need. It may not give you everything you need, but there should be something else out there to help you to cut down on this debt, to keep you from failing, and to keep you able to attend school. So you want to also look at that. Think about that while you're going through all of these things, getting ready for college. And I know that it's a great time in your life. You're going to go off, leave your home. Some of you will still remain in Chicago, still remain in Illinois. Some of you going away further. Your parents, you'll be away from your parents now too. Here's the other thing that you want to think about. How am I going to maintain? How am I going to eat? How am I going to make sure that I'm okay away from my parents? So you want to think about your food plans. Ask your college. Make sure you pay attention to the food plans that are offered by each college and university. Sometimes they can build those into the total cost of college. Sometimes you have to pay it separately. So always keep that in mind. Also, shop deals. Make sure you know what it is that you need. Stay minimal. Look for good deals in and around. Know the stores that are around your dorm before you get there. Know what type, if there's any ways for using coupons, or if there's cheaper methods out there for food delivery services. Keep those things in mind and keep your expenses as low as possible, because even though you're away at college, you don't want to drain your parents' pockets either. So again, looking at your budget, it is never too late or early to get a budget going. Go to the Family Credit's website at familycredit.org. Download Personal Finance Made Easy. Great guide for you to have while you're going to college. A My Spending Plan. Work with your family to establish your budget and know ahead of time what you're getting yourselves into. The one thing that we want you to do is be successful and have a good life. The ways for you to do that is to stay diligent, stay disciplined, and just continue to work on yourself, your budget, keep your finances in your mind, and make sure that if you need help, you're reaching out, you're saying something, you're looking for the resources that you need. You're not just sitting by and let life happen. Again, think about your career choices, how much those fields are going to make, and then also think about what age do you really want to retire? Because now, with that being said, the career that you're going down, you want to make sure that you can support that lifestyle afterwards as well. So I want to caution you to think about your goals. Again, sit down, make out a list of what you need in your life versus what you want. Start there, especially if you're young and you're just starting out. Then let's get into looking at your budget, what it's going to look like for the next upcoming school year. And of course, we always want you to save as much as possible. So if you've got any questions at all, feel free to reach out to a counselor at familycredit.org or call 800-994-3328. And let's capitalize on these back to school savings that are out. All right. We will talk to you again next week. Be safe and take care.